Brexit, the most stupid act any nation has ever inflicted upon itself in the history of mankind, has put a barrier between us and our biggest customers. The fishermen can't sell their fish because it's too expensive. We can't sell our products, and our exports to the EU have dropped phenomenally over the last decade. My name's David Catt. I've farmed for 52 years. The problem I feel is that these politicians have never been hungry. Without food, you have no economics. Without food, you have no politics. Farming in this country is on its knees. Quite simple. Brexit broke Britain. Brexit benefits? No one's given me one yet. There isn't a Brexiteer who can give me a positive out of what's happened. There aren't any. I'm at the stage in my life now where it's my grandchildren's futures that I'm concerned about. It's my grandchildren's futures that I want to enhance. And the only way I think we can do that is by being part of Europe.
The evidence is, Nick, that we would actually increase our exports to the EU if we came out of the legislative morass of the single market.
There'll be no need for checks at Dover, but it will be an ability to ensure that the roads keep running around Dover, even if there are delays at Calais. The delays will not be at Dover, they will be at Calais.
We will maintain a free-flowing border at Dover. We will not impose checks in the port. It was utterly unrealistic to do so. We don't check lorries now. We're not going to be checking lorries in Dover in the future. Absolutely clear, it cannot happen.
But anyway. The sorts of fears being put up, that there'll be problems on crossing from Dover to Calais. The people in Calais, the port authorities, the leader of northern France have all said that's not going to happen. So there's been a lot of scare stories.
We want a bespoke arrangement on goods which recognises the peculiar, frankly, geographic economic entity that is the United Kingdom. We are, and I hadn't quite understood the full extent of this, but if you look at the UK and you look at how we trade in goods, we're particularly reliant on the Dover-Calais crossing.
We say we can take back control. We can see the sunlit meadows beyond.
Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Tuesday morning? Yes, I thought a few videos here and there was worth sharing with you guys, considering what day it is today. But yeah, 10 years ago, guys, the UK as a whole voted to leave the European Union. England and Scotland voted overwhelmingly to leave. And England and Wales voted to leave. Northern Ireland and Scotland voted to remain, and the overall vote went towards leave. And 10 years since that vote, we've been asking ourselves, are we better off? Are you better off? Well, guess what, guys? There's a poll going to be dropping tomorrow on the channel at 7 a.m. And feel free to cast your vote and have your say whether you feel that 10 years on since that vote, you feel better off. I think we know what the vast majority of people are going to say. Some people might say that they're better off, probably because they're filthy rich or because they're from Russia and they're pretending to be British. Let's have a look and see who we've got in the chat today. Thank you guys all for being here. Very much appreciate it. Let me just bring it up here. Good morning, Billy Kershaw. Hope you are doing well. Linda, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Hammy, good morning to you. I hope you're all well down in Englandshire. Thank you. I'm very, very warm. It's going to be plus 30 degrees. And it's going to be plus 30 degrees where I am, but at least between now and Sunday. Every single day between now and Sunday, it is going to be plus 30 degrees. And somehow, I've got to manage. But manage I will. Avril Lamb, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there. Good to see you there as well. Sid, good morning to you as well. Scott Hayes and anybody else who may be lurking in the chats there. Good morning to you all. Let me just pause that video there as well. Right, guys, we're going to have a look at the news going on in the UK. But first, we've got today's daily quote. And we also have the weather forecast, which I did say I was going to do today. So we are going to do those indeed. Good morning, Chatty Rat. Hope you are doing well there. Calais had and has space to expand and install extra infrastructure. Dover didn't and still doesn't have. Customs and where appropriate, SPS controls were always going to follow Brexit. Thank you for that, Chatty Rat. Very much appreciate. And by the way, I just want to say, Chatty Rat, thank you so much for posting information for people on the Discord community. I really appreciate that whenever you post any content on there. I not a lot of people. I know I haven't been having. I think you and maybe one or two others are still posting content on there. So thank you for providing content on the server. I appreciate it. By the way. So what is today's daily quote for Brexit? 10 years on, guys. What? I'm joking. The quote has got nothing related to Brexit. I'm just going to put that out there, guys. Here is today's daily quote for the 23rd of June. 4 words. Wisdom begins in wonder. Wisdom begins in wonder, indeed. Tomorrow's one's actually a nice one. Tomorrow is a nice one indeed. I've got to put the fan on. I was hoping to avoid putting the fan on because I don't want it to be too noisy, but it's too hot in here, guys. I've got to put the fan on. So I do apologise, but hopefully it won't be too noisy for you guys. Right, let's go straight to the weather before we have a look at the news, guys. Here is our big, beautiful map. Our big planet. This is Earth. We all live on it, and it's pretty warm for some of us here. Let's have a look. We're using the bbc.co.uk/weather, bbc/weather/map. For those who are wondering what I'm using to look at the weather forecast. We're going to start in North America. Over in Alaska there, they've got 13 degrees. They've got some rain and some snow. Probably snow up in the hills and in the mountains probably there. Yellowknife, 21 degrees. Churchill at 10. Vancouver, 24. Winnipeg at 15. Ottawa, 24 there. Canada got their fair share of showers there. It's not too bad temperatures for them at all. Down in the United States, though, where the World Cup, the World Cup's taking place in Canada as well. New Orleans, 32. Miami, 34. I'm aware that the Tartan Army, the Scots are there in Florida. I'm sure they're going to be enjoying that weather indeed there. It's funny how I say they'll be enjoying the weather there, where we're going to be having those same temperatures, and I'm not going to be enjoying the weather. Chicago 21, New York 21, Nashville 25, Denver 24, San Francisco 17, San Diego at 21. Bit further down, Kingston, then Jamaica at 32, Mexico City at 21, San Jose at 27, Guantanamo City at 25. Down in the South American continent there, you got Manaus at 30, Quinto at 17, Lima 23, La Paz at 13 there, Rio de Janeiro at 26 respectfully there, and you got your fair share of tropical rainstorms that they normally have on the continent. But further down, Santiago there at 14 degrees, and a very chilly on the Falkland Islands there down at the bottom there. It's 3 degrees indeed. That's very, very cold indeed. Crossing over to the African continent here. Central and Southern Africa, Lagos 28, Bangui 26, Dar es Salaam at 23, Kikisha 27. Right down at the bottom there, Cape Town is sitting on 13 degrees. Looks like they've got quite a fair share of some rainstorms there. Crossing a bit further over to the other side of the world, Auckland and Wellington 15 and 12 respectively there. Why the hell have I been sent that message? Darwin at 22 degrees, Alice Springs at 4. Brisbane at 11, Perth 11, Melbourne 10 and Hobart 7. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'd like to go to Australia with those kind of temperatures. Not going to lie. Yeah, those temperatures are more suitable to me. They'd be chilly, but I would be more preferable to them. That's just my personal preference there. Bit further north there, we've got Singapore at 28 degrees. Ho Chi Minh City at 28. Philippines' capital at 28. Bangkok 29. Yangon 26. Harare at 32. Taiwan's capital there at 27, Shanghai 23, Beijing, China's capital, sitting at 21 degrees with Tokyo there at 19 degrees. Going a bit further over, Dhaka at 27. Then New Delhi at 31 degrees. Chennai at 30. Remember, the temperatures I'm going to be experiencing this week, I'm not allowed to complain because other places have it on a regular basis, but I'm still going to moan anyway, guys. But Tehran at 33 degrees. Very, very hot in Baghdad at 40 degrees. Kuwait City 38. Riyadh 39. Port Sudan 32. Khartoum 35. Timbuktu, one of the hottest places on the planet there, at 38 degrees. Very, very hot temperatures indeed there. And if we have a look, Reykjavik there in Iceland, they are at 13 degrees. 13 degrees for them there. As for Europe, well, most of Europe is definitely going to be experiencing the hot temperatures. So it's not just going to be where we are in London here, where I am in London, and mostly Midlands, England there. Very warm temperatures in Madrid, 37 degrees. Do take extra precaution if you are in from the Spanish capital. Lisbon won't be so bad at 27, but it's still going to be warm nonetheless. Tripoli 29, Tunis 30, Palmelo 28, Rome over the 30 mark at 31 there. Nice on the south of France there at 29. Bern, the Switzerland capital there, very nice, 30 degrees. Much warmer in Paris, 36 degrees. I've been told that they will hit 40 degrees this week in Paris. So if you are in France, please take extra precaution. It's going to be much worse for you guys in France than it is going to be here where I am. Athens 29, Istanbul 23, Tarija 30, Bucharest 25, Zagreb 29, Vienna 30, Prague 27, Berlin 26, Warsaw at 23, Kiev at 23 there, Chisinau at 25. So they're on the 27 to 30 mark, but not as warm as it's a bit as where it be in Paris and Spain respectfully there. Moscow 18 degrees with Volgograd at 21, St. Petersburg at 16 there, Oslo there sitting at 18 degrees, and finally Brussels there at 30 degrees. If I just scroll it along, because I just wanted to show you guys the temperatures for Paris. You can see there Paris hitting 40 degrees Wednesday afternoon there. They're going to hit 40 degrees, 37, 38 degrees on Thursday. Did they hit 40 again? It does. I'm not sure if they're going to hit 40 again. No, it doesn't look like they're going to hit 40 again. They're just for reference. I just wanted to see. Yeah, so you can see they are going to hit that 40 degrees tomorrow afternoon there. So, of course, I do wish people in France to be as cool as they possibly can, get as cool as they possibly can there. So what's happening in the UK in terms of temperatures here? So this is, I've set it right now for 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what we got right now. There was some scattered showers. So last night, by the way, there was myself, my partner, and my partner's mum. We all woke up to the sound of thunderstorms. We had lightning in. Where we are, as well as literally monsoon of rain last night where we were in London, and it didn't dissipate until about 5 o'clock in the morning, and it definitely woke us up because we had the window open because obviously we wanted to let ventilation in, and it was just poof, and you could literally see the lightning out there. It was really made me jump a few times, the sound. So yeah, it's not often that you get it, but yeah, that definitely woke me up at 4:30 in the morning. But I did manage to go back to sleep for a little bit before waking up at 6 there as well. But it doesn't look like going to be anything like that now, guys. If we can have a look there. Ellie, good morning to you. Person impersonator, Witchy Goth, Viper Scott, good to see you all there. Hope you guys are all doing well, guys. Make sure you subscribe to Witchy Goth's YouTube channel. And Kevin, I see you there. I hope you are doing well. Good morning to you as well. C, almost missed someone. I think, yes, C, Dizzy and Scott Hayes, good morning to you both. I hope you guys are doing well. Good to see you there in the chats as well. Toast, this person impersonator. Yeah, I do have my fair share of toast. You're melting in Edinburgh. Think of me, Viper Scott. Think of me. All right, in all seriousness, let's have a look at the weather. So this is what we're forecasting this afternoon, guys. So Belfast and Dublin 25, 25, Edinburgh 24, Manchester 29, Cardiff 29, London 30. I have to say though, these are good. These are, when it hits plus 30, that's when I think it's a bit, it can be a bit excessive in my opinion. Some people disagree, but I think it does. But very nice temperatures for over in Ireland, I have to say. So I do hope they make the most of it there, as you do up in Scotland. But again, just like everything else, drink plenty, drink plenty of fluids. Make sure you put sun cream on. I know it seems like a daft thing to say, but if you have sensitive skin, It's not just the sunburns. It can lead to you getting skin cancer. Like that's the thing I want people to be more. I don't want anyone ever catching skin cancer as a direct consequence of not putting on sun cream. Okay, so if you do have sensitive skin, don't moan about it. Buy the stuff if you haven't got it, and just put it on, and you'll thank yourself later on in life. Okay, just don't put yourself at risk. Is what I will say there. Temperatures a bit later on here Tuesday afternoon, so we got London's going to be hitting 33 degrees, as I said earlier, guys. From today all the way up till Sunday, every day is going to be plus 30 in London. That's going to happen, whether I like it or not there. Manchester 31, Cardiff 31 as well, so you can see those there, and 25, 26 in Dublin. Wow, 26 degrees in Dublin. I don't know when the last time they ever hit that kind of temperatures there. But in the evening there, the temperatures are staying roughly around about the same. Even Tuesday evening there, you can see right there late at night, those temperatures are still going to be there. Avril says, we are not used to the humid weather. I'm just outside Edinburgh, loaf ahead. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not so much the heat, it's the humidity. That's the thing that really kills people, is the humidity more than anything. Yeah, you just got to be careful of that. Looking at overnight, though, this is what the temperatures we're looking at overnight. This is insane. London, 22 degrees overnight. Cardiff, 20 degrees. Edinburgh, Belfast, Dublin, that might be a bit of, it's going to be warm. It's going to be a hot night, guys. So please, again, I do recommend this, and I really want to stress this. Please have a bottle of water at your bedside, even if it's not a cold one. Yeah, you will wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes feeling parched. Just have it there. Better to be safe than sorry. The last thing you want is feeling so start feeling so dehydrated. In the middle of the night, because you will feel that during these heats. So please have a bottle of water by your bedside. And I know everyone likes to drink alcohol during the World Cup. Mitigate it a little bit, during these heat, because it's probably not ideal as well, guys. I'm only saying this just for all your sakes in the chat there as well. But yeah, London 22 degrees. Goodness knows how we're going to sleep. But Wichikoff did give me some tips. I think it was yesterday or last week, some tips as well, which I'm going to be using, like flannels and cooling my feet before I go to bed, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be using them using that as well. But yes, 22 degrees in London, 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Ouch. So this is what it's going to be looking like Wednesday morning, 7 o'clock, when I go for my walk. I actually went for a jog this morning. I'm not going to do a jog. I don't know if I'm going to do a jog tomorrow morning. Probably going to do a walk, but I am going to do it that early morning, 7 o'clock there, because it needs to be done. But that's what we're looking like in the mornings, these temperature wise. If we go to a bit later on, you can see the temperatures do jump very quickly there. And again, Wednesday afternoon, you can see again 22 degrees, Belfast and Dublin 2021, Manchester 29, Cardiff 30, London 33. If we go to Wednesday a bit later on at 4 o'clock, 35 degrees, Edinburgh 23, Belfast and Dublin 21, 22, Manchester 31, Cardiff 32. So just bear that in mind if you are in London, like where I am. And then overnight, again, temperatures do start to drop in the evening, but again, there is some sign of some possible showers, but in a little bit of Scotland, just to be aware. But most of it is going to be dry. Overnight, this is what we're expecting overnight as well. Temperatures, Edinburgh 15, Belfast 16, Dublin 17, Manchester 21 degrees, Cardiff 23, London 20. That's brutal. Again, like 23 degrees in Cardiff, 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Ouch. Is all I can say. Again, just take the measures that I've recommended. If you have any other suggestions, please throw them in the chat as well for people. If you have other suggestions, please throw some other suggestions in the chat just to help as well. Any ideas that I haven't mentioned, just regurgitate them, because it's important to remind ourselves, guys. Thursday, 31, 21, 23. This is Thursday afternoon. If we go to a bit later on here, saying Thursday evening, 30, 32, 32, 20, 35. I was told it was going to hit 38 on Thursday, but I guess we'll have to wait just to confirm that a bit closer to the time. It might peak at 38, but we'll wait and see. Thursday, I'm told, is the peak temperature, but again, we'll wait and see. But you can see it's still going to be warm nonetheless. It'll be 20 degrees in Edinburgh. That won't be too bad, but again, the humidity's not going to be going away, so that's still going to be a problem, guys. It's still going to be a problem nonetheless. Overnight here, they're reporting 24 degrees, 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday, 16 in Edinburgh, 20, 21, 24, 25 here. Friday morning, 26 degrees in London. What on earth is that? And if there's one thing I don't like, is hot weather and rain. Unfortunately for our friends in Scotland and parts of northern Wales, you're going to be experiencing some showers on Friday. So if you thought you were done with the rain this week, haha, God is laughing at you right now, saying no, you're not having it that easy, Scots. So yeah, you are going to getting some showers on Friday morning. And yeah, it looks like quite a fair bit of it is going to be coming as well. While also those temperatures are going to be maintaining, staying roughly around about the same there. Friday afternoon, 33 degrees. Manchester 31, Cardiff 25, Dublin 24, Belfast 22, Edinburgh at 20 there. And yeah, again, it goes those hot temperatures there. And again, that rain is not going to be going anywhere. It's going to be around for a while. Overnight for Saturday. This is what they're forecasting for Saturday. 25 degrees. Saturday, 1 o'clock in the morning. On Saturday. Jesus. Saturday morning, 23 degrees. Edinburgh, Belfast, 17, 18 there. Saturday afternoon, this is what they're forecasting. 29 degrees. Edinburgh, 21. Belfast, 20. Dublin, 22. Manchester, 26. Cardiff, 25. But the temperatures, looks like they're forecasting it'll be under 30 degrees, which is a good. So it looks like a slight dip in the heat wave there. But I was told it was hit 30. But I'm not actually, me and my partner, we're not actually going to be in London Saturday. We're actually going to be travelling. So cross fingers, it won't be too bad for us on Saturday there. And then finally, we just have a quick look at Sunday here before I come to you guys in the chat, because I know there's some comments there. This is what we're looking like. Sunday, it looks like 25, 19, 18. So we're going to see a dip in temperatures on Sunday. There will be some showers there, but we will have a look at that again a bit closer to the time there. So let me just have a quick look, see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'll just wait for it to update here. Thank you so much, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat. First of the day. All her DPR, Ollie and the Quackers. Yeah, it's been a while since we had the super chat goal. Thank you so much for the £2. I very much appreciate your support. Thank you there. Ellie says, I went to bed at 11 p.m. 4 cold bottles of water, no as hot water bottles. Slept like a log. Woke at 6. Travelled to mum's at 8:30. Home at 10:30. Fans back on. Each animal has their own fan. Yeah. Dolly's not a fan of the fans. Yeah. Dolly actually doesn't want to associate herself with the fans. And Jasper, that's our white cat, he's been going in mum's room and basically sleeping on the floor under some drawers. He's just basically staying there. We was concerned about him because a couple of days ago he stayed there for 10 hours straight. And we thought he might have an upset stomach or something. But the next day he was totally fine. So I think he's just trying to keep himself cool, just like Dolly is in their own way. Friday and Saturday will be cooler. Yeah, Friday and Saturday it will start to cool down a little bit, yeah. But yeah, Thursday's going to be when it's peaking. It's going to be peaking, is there. I have my race on Sunday. Temperatures look better, but Mo running for 3 days now. Sunday will not be so bad, Witchy. The temperatures should drop, yeah, by then. Temperatures should drop by then. So right now, yeah, I would just obviously keep an eye on it. But yeah, it won't be, it'll still be hot, but it won't be as bad as the week as a whole. It will start to drop. Person says, I know I go on about toast, but I quit smoking, so I don't have the morning cigarette to crave, so I transfer my reward to morning toast. Hey, that's totally great. You know, I tend to have, I tend to have bread, either toast or French stick, something along those lines for lunch anyway. So, you know, I'm just as much a toast advocate as you are, person impersonator. So I'm glad you found something to nibble on to kind of help with that craving that you used to have. So that's really good to hear. So thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Yesterday's thunderstorm sounded more like a battle with the cannons going off. Yes, it did, Ellie. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true indeed. Ellie says, my animals are hammies and rats. The fans should act like air conditioners in their cages. Good. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Sorry I missed last night. Fell asleep when I came home. I was knackered because I called out mucking on my sleep patterns all week. You don't need to apologise, Viper Scott. It's fine. Like I said, the timestamp for last night's live stream is up, guys. So you can timestamp if there's a certain particular story you want to read from last night's live stream. You can do as well, guys. Close all curtains and keep the rooms cooler. Absolutely, that is something we definitely do here. I actually keep the windows shut because I keep the humidity out in this room, and the same in my bedroom as well. The living room downstairs is one of the coolest rooms in the house. Actually, it's very cool. It's actually separated from the kitchen, but the kitchen doesn't have. The kitchen has doesn't have a proper cover. We don't have a thick curtain covering the door where there's a lot of light comes in from there. So what I did last week, I think it was a few weeks ago. So I actually hung up a towel to cover a big chunk of the outdoors heat coming into that room, because I didn't want the kitchen being hot and stuffy. But the kitchen is kind of separated from my living room in the house. There. I never open my curtains. I know. In the evenings, what I tend to do is that I did it yesterday, and I probably will do it tonight. So probably about 6-7 o'clock in the evening, I will open and let some ventilation into the house. That's what I probably will do. Right, let's have a look at what's going on in the news, guys. Obviously, we're going to hear some topics about Brexit as well. So let's start with the Telegraph here. Let's see what they're talking about here. Schools shut as heatwave sends UK into meltdown. So Nick Ferrari complained about this. He moaned about this morning, guys, of all people, basically saying, "Oh, the kids just give him a brolly." Obviously, Nick doesn't understand that when he's, and I said this on Twitter, quote tweeted this on Twitter, guys. It's all nice and well for Nick Ferrari to sit in his nice, cozy, air-conditioned studio at LBC. And but it's not like he's working in the heat like some people have to outdoors, or some people in certain retail departments or certain jobs where they actually have to work in the heat and there's no air conditioning, there's nothing to help them keep themselves cool. So respectfully, Nick Ferrari, fuck off. Moaning about the schools being shut because of the heat waves. The schools don't have the things that they need to protect their children from the heat in the classrooms. If they did, I'm pretty sure they would. There. No worries, Witchy Girl. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. I don't have curtains, but I do have vertical blinds. They get shut in the heat. Personally, yeah. Anything to keep the heat out is a good thing. So yeah, there. Yeah. So what else we got here? Burnham set for coronation. I thought it was a very nice something Kemi Baganoff pointed out on I think it was on Good Morning this morning, which I think was very, very clever of her. She said Rachel Reeves there. I can't see it in that picture there, but Rachel Reeves was in the selfie that Andy Burnham took. Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, was there with Andy Burnham. She was not there when Keir Starmer announced his resignation. She wasn't there. Tells you a lot about Rachel Reeves, doesn't it, guys? Just saying. Starmer allies urged Darren Jones to run against Burnham. I did tell you there's going to be. I did say it's going to be 2.5 weeks before. There's a lot of time between now and then. To assume that Burnham's shoed in, it's not. EU delays Brexit reset for soft touch Burnham. Donaldson apologised to abuse victims. Sealed his apology to abuse victims. Sealed his fate. Too little, too late, as far as I'm concerned for Jeffrey Donaldson. I have no. The former DUP leader just I don't have any sympathy whatsoever for what he did. Prostate cancer blood test detects twice as many cases. That's very concerning indeed. Man charged with 5 counts of attempted murder over the Edinburgh attacks. There as well. The US lifts sanctions on Iranian oil exports. Russia infiltrates Ukrainian fortress Belt City there. Iran's leaders criticise his negotiations in secret letters. The 3 Indian warships designed to take on China. Are you serious, India? Don't be silly. Do India really have a vast military? I know they have a big population, but I've not really seen India as a country that has a decent military. I don't know. I've not looked. The schools are closing around here and tomorrow, and rightfully so, says Sid. Yeah, it's the thing is that it's on the one hand, and I mean this, it's really frustrating for parents and for the schools to have to do this. But on the other hand, this is where the government needs to make sure that the kids are getting a substitute of education if they cannot provide systems in the schools to keep them at the temperatures that they need to be in order to be educated. This is where we need to look. There needs to be funding looking at this, because this is regular now. This is the new norm, and governments cannot just simply ignore this. There needs to be funds for schools to be able to cope with these heats. Now, whether that is thick curtains, whether that is air conditioning, whether that is more water bottles, I don't know what systems need to be in place to keep school buildings in particular cool, but they need to look at these methods. And I think also, I don't know how creative teachers need to be, but there needs to be options here. Obviously, there's also the caveat of them finishing at around 2:30 and 3 o'clock, 3 and half 3 in the afternoon. It's obviously very dangerous for children to be finishing at that time. Yes, of course, making sure that they have appropriate sun cream as well is also very, very important as well, so they don't get heat stroke and sunburn as well. That's also really, really important. But I do think, yeah, that we can still teach children in these heat waves, but we need to provide funding and the resources necessary for teachers and schools to have what they need to be able to teach them in cool temperatures that are suitable for them and suitable for the teachers teaching them. I think that's what one of the things that I think Andy Burnham needs to have a look at as well. Because every day that they're not learning is one day makes them one day less dumber, makes them more dumber, you know. What else we got here? Russia withdraws air defences from front line to protect Moscow. Pedro Sanchez, former right-hand man, jailed for 24 years. Wow. Sexism on the beach at Italy's last segregated coastline. England's most patriotic streets defies Greens to hang St George's flags. What on earth is this all about? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, okay, like, the thing is like, I don't mind, like, for me, like, if it's bunting, that's not a big deal, but don't hang them on the bloody phone lines. Like, come on, like, what are you doing there? Mother forced to travel 75 miles to give birth. Doctors' union plans to become more militant, suggest a leader. Britain's first gay surrogate father has been charged with child sex offences, according to the Telegraph. Husband is accused of drugging wife and for 12 other men amidst rape. That is disgusting. Just disgusting. Points failure shifted the northern passenger service into the path of a freight train. Have we had another train accident? I won't be able to open it, guys, because it's behind a paywall. But if we had another train accident, I hope not. That's very concerning indeed if we've had another train accident. Peter Murrell. US lifts oil sanctions and sets up Hormuz crisis line. Bosses warn of summer stagnation after Starmer quits. Yeah, there's the lightning from last night. Travel Hill scripts. Eurostar trains cancelled and rail services disrupted. Temperatures could reach around 40 degrees. More than 23,000 lightning strikes recorded overnight. Yeah, it was quite a fair amount of it. Heatwave wish triggering blackout, grid operator warns as well. That's concerning indeed. Elon Musk loses record 350 billion in a week as SpaceX slumps. Oh, does that mean? Oh, well, I was going to say, does that mean he's no longer a trillionaire? Probably not. He's probably still a trillionaire. But yes, he lost some money. Good. He's not holding it. He's not hogging all the money, chat. He's not hogging all the money. Poland tells Britain pay up for defence or risk global irrelevance, says Poland there. Trump tells Rubio to Gulf to sell Iran deal as well. And our Norway players do the Viking row after Hageland sinks Senegal. Yeah, they did that in Times Square as well. The Norwegian fans. It's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen the videos online, do check them out. Yeah, absolutely great stuff indeed there. So those are some of the stories there from the Telegraph there. Let's have a look at the Times and see what they are saying here. For some reason, they still got the Makerfield by-election result up. I don't know why they still got it up, but there you go. Labour MPs are considering challenging Burnham. MPs for Makerfield will seek to bolster economic credentials in his speech next week, while Darren Jones has been urged to run against him. So people are pushing Darren Jones to make a run. Brexit, the verdict 10 years on in a bellwether constituency there. Burnham will seek to reassure markets on March to number 10. Yeah, the markets haven't really, since the announcement, the resignation, the markets haven't really been too shaken. Because they've been given, I think they've been given reassurances that they're not going to shake too much the markets. It seems like the Rachel Reeves is going to remain in post at the moment. Darren Jones has no chance. He's not popular at all. He isn't popular at all. No. But they want to run a leadership challenge. The Starmerites want to run a leadership challenge. Burnham has to act fast after Starmer smells small act of revenge. Yeah, cause people who backed Keir Starmer, like they will be wanting to do that. Celebration or commiserations. Britain 10 years after Brexit. Yep, no smiles, because rightfully so. Inflation is currently at 3%. Unemployment at 5.2%. To our next Prime Minister, here's how to do it. Yeah, okay, sure. Burnham will be a better Prime Minister without a contest, says William Hague. I'm not jumping on the Burnham saviour bandwagon, guys. You know, I'm like, let's see what he does, you know. And I think people putting all their eggs in one basket is dangerous. And I also think there's a lot of Green members should not be thinking that so much as well. You know, the Green Party is a much more safer bet than Labour, even under Andy Burnham. He is still influenced. Starmer steps up row with Burnham over defence plan. The outgoing Prime Minister will push on and bring the proposals to NATO, despite his likelihood of wanting it to be delayed. Starmer's legacy in the US, just another forgettable face. VAT blamed as foreign students shun British boarding schools. More of the lighting that we saw last night. What caused the Bedfordshire crash? Yeah, that's a good question. Still finding out more about that, obviously. The former SNP chief has been jailed for 5 years over embezzlement. Only 5 years, guys. Peter Morrell, the estranged husband of Nicola Sturgeon, admitted using £400,000 of party funds for personal purchase, including £124,500 of motorhome. 5 years. It's not a lot of time. Jolly England fans disappoint Americans expecting hooliganism. Okay. Well, I'm glad they're not causing trouble, England fans out there, as far as I'm aware. Under 50s age faster than previous generations amid cancer surge. Any other stories worth looking at here? Billions wiped off Alphabet as 2 leading AI researchers defect. The spider that catapults ants into its webs. Wow. An newly discovered ballistic species is found to use its silk like a siege engine, firing ants into a trap with astonishing precision. Wow. That's pretty fascinating. So what? It creates a trap? Oh, wow. That's clever. That's very clever indeed. The ISA error that could cost you £30,000. Horses and humans keep cool. Yep, keep the horses cool as well. Please look after our animals. Please. And also was mentioned by Ellie as well. Please take out any aerosols in your cars. If you have a car, please do not have aerosols in your car. They could explode. Ellie has mentioned this previously as well. Please take them out, guys. Just to be on the safe side. Even if it means it makes you a little bit stinky. Yeah, just get a roll on instead. That won't explode. That won't explode instead. Burnham poised to see Starmer as Prime Minister. Yep, we know about that. UK businesses reject calls to rejoin the EU, says CBI chief. Rain Newton-Smith says companies acknowledge cost of Brexit but do not want to reopen the debate. Well, do you not want more money in your pocket? A lot of these businesses end up selling their stuff to foreigners. You end up so many of our businesses have been sold off to whether it's US or European, well, mainly the US. We've lost so many of our own industries because they haven't been able to keep going because they didn't have the connections to Europe anymore. And you're saying they're rejecting the call to rejoin the EU. Let me see if I can open this piece, guys. Let me see if I can open this. 1 second. I'm going to try and see if I can open it. Everyone's so scared about, no, don't open the debate, guys. We don't want to open the Brexit debate. No. We can't have that debate. We don't want to have that debate. Or I will have one. It's an air fryer. Good point. We'll take it out. Okay. Ray Newman-Smith says companies acknowledge cost of Brexit but do not want to reopen the debate. It says British businesses do not want another referendum on Brexit and have no appetite for re-entering the customs union with the EU. The leader of the UK's largest business lobbying group has warned. What a stupid thing for them to say. I'm sorry, like, no, you don't want to rejoin the customs union even though it's going to put more money in your pockets. How insane is that? It's absolutely insane. Despite growing clamour on the left of British politics for the UK to rejoin the EU, the CBI director, Ray Newton-Smith, told the FT that 10 years after the 2016 vote, the business community did not want to go back despite acknowledging the economic pain caused by leaving the world's largest trading bloc. Quote, the evidence is compelling and indisputable that Brexit has created costs for businesses, she said. But businesses aren't looking to reignite the referendum. None of the businesses leaders I spoke to want to reopen that debate. It's because they're scared. Newton-Smith's intervention puts clear distance between the business world and political leaders in Labour, Liberal Democrats and Greens, calling for deeper, rapid approachment with Brussels, then currently being offered by Sir Keir Starmer's limited reset. Andy Burnham, most likely candidate to succeed Keir Starmer at the Labour Party, was indicated that we want to rejoin the EU at a future date. Liberal Democrat leader Ed Davey made a speech last week demanding Burnham move closer to Europe if he became Prime Minister, including rejoining the single market and customs union. Well done to Lib Dems, by the way, to making this position very, very clear here. The Lib Dems will get a lot of numbers behind them because they're on the right side. They've also put out a video as well. I might share the video at the end of the show for you guys. Yeah, it's a very good. It's a 4-minute video, but I think it's very good from Lib Dems. However, Newton-Smith said that business world has moved on, especially after the UK signed trade deals with the likes of India and the oil-rich Gulf states. That doesn't change the fact that we are worse off. 5 years ago, businesses would have supported joining the customs union, but the reality is the world has changed. So no, CBI members aren't asking to join the customs union, she said. They're fools. My response is that they're fools. America basically owns Britain, says We Bud these days. Americans are buying up all our shops and supermarket. Morrison's, I think, is a more American owned. Yeah, but it's a direct consequence of Brexit because so many businesses just had to sell up because they just couldn't carry on. Many British businesses just could not. So many of our institutions now are owned by Americans or owned abroad. Like there's very few, like how many big businesses that you can think of that says, oh yeah, it's owned by an American, that's owned by British business owned by a British owner. How many can you say that? It's not that many really if you think about it. Starmer, who announced he will step down as Prime Minister, has set red lines ruling out joining the customs union, return to EU single market or accepting the free movement of people, several limiting the economic value of its reset with Europe. I'm just going to say this right now. Andy Burnham, if he comes in, he's not gonna say rejoin now. He's going to say down the line we're going to have that conversation. He's not going to say yes now. He's going to say down the line going to have that conversation. The deal will boost UK's GDP by just 0.3% over 15 years. 15 years. This was just, according to government estimates, just a fraction of the 8% hit to GDP that Chancellor Rachel Reeves warned last March that could have been caused by Brexit. Brexit was a big factor. However, a summit planned for July 11th, where the arrangement was due to be cemented, has been postponed pending the outcome of the power transition prompted by Starmer's resignation on Monday. Yeah, this makes logical sense. Yeah, no, there's no point having this summit if when you're having a change in government right now. With red lines in place, the Starmer government had conceded on the potential value of closer regulatory alignment with Brussels in key industrial sectors, but Newton-Smith warned that such a strategy was not without risks. Asked about the potential benefits of rejoining the EU single market, Newton-Smith said businesses needed to be closely consulted on the pros and cons of re-adopting Brussels regulations. Quote, the single market isn't an obvious route to alignment, but alignment isn't a silver bullet. It only makes sense when clearly in the UK's economic interest and the benefit outweighs the trade-offs, he said. Well, it does. It's just really like this. This language is very much says to me that we don't. It very much says to me we don't want businesses to get better off. We don't want businesses to get better. That's literally what it says to me there. No, I don't just don't. Very, very silly comments in my opinion. I like the thing is that I've said before and I've said again about the long process of rejoining, of joining. But to say that they don't want to reopen the debate, I think is foolhardy in my view. The UK irritated by EU moves to delay key summit after Starmer's resignation. Well, again, like it makes sense to delay it. Like you're having a change in the Prime Minister, for crying out loud. So yeah, obviously makes sense. 6 Prime Ministers in 10 years. Why? Brexit. No one can manage Brexit. Labour MPs celebrate as Burnham returns to Westminster. Streeting seen as a frontrunner to become the UK's next Chancellor. Oh, God. Ex-Health Secretary favoured after ruling out leadership run, but Labour centre-left prefers Ed Miliband. No, I want Ed Miliband staying as Energy Secretary. I do not want him as Chancellor. Start resignation as it happens. Burnham poised to become the UK's Prime Minister. Any other stories from the FT that we have to look at here? UK has been irritated. Tough is my response. Heineken picks outsider as CEO for the first time. Private equity bosses turned to carry out interest loans as payouts stall. Big tech leads sell-off in global stocks. 10 years on. Draw your own chart game. How well do you know Brexit? Test your knowledge on what's happened in the 10 years since voting to leave the EU. Germany seeks to set up a Swedish-style public pension fund. Business elites fume as Takashi shuns Japan's smoky back rooms. Author to Gooper Steel Empire fined and banned over egregious failures there as well. Airbus and Leonardo call for European space champions to take on SpaceX. EU could open deportation centres outside blog by next year, said Denmark's PM. You're not fixing the problem. You're not fixing the problem. US and Iran give ship owners conflicting hormones orders. If you're getting conflicting orders, just stay where you are, is my response to those shipping companies. Top car makers warn EU tech sovereignty drive will raise costs. StubHub UK ordered to pay £1.5 million penalty for drip pricing. And renewable energy groups to raise $3.6 billion in Chinese biggest IPO for 4 years there. Apple flagship private credit fund hit by 17% redemption requests there as well. 6 years, 6 prime ministers in 10 years. What on earth? How have we ended up in this place, guys? How have we ended up in this place? Answers on a postcard, please. Just a reminder, guys, if you want to help me achieve today's super chat goal, you can do down below as well. It'd be very much appreciated. But by the way, you don't just support me and the work that I do here, guys. You're also supporting the gang behind me here. And by the way, I'm keeping them as cool as I possibly can here, just for reference here. But the gang are all here. Quackers is here, Pingu, Ollie the Octopus, Blaze the Charmander, and Cash Dummy the Cookie Monster. They are all here, guys, surrounded by the all-powerful orb. I know you guys haven't seen them for a while, so I wanted to show them to you guys as well. Bag the ants like going fishing, says Ellie. Yeah, I know. It was a fascinating clip, wasn't it? Fascinating indeed. All right, this is the eye paper. What they've got here: Starmer's ally calls for swift transition to new PM as Lammy backs Andy Burnham. Yep, David Lammy put his backing behind it publicly in an interview with LBC yesterday. There, Starmer's zombie government puts Putin's defense plans on hold. Apparently, the fight against online-only TV is being lost. How it could happen in 8 years. I'm a dietitian. This is what I feed my kids in hot weather, from cold pasta to watermelon slushes. These are the healthy, delicious meals your picky eaters will love. Yes, we should be. Yeah, the kind of meals you should be having. You should try to have cooler meals, obviously during the summer. But at the same time, you also need to make sure they still have all the vitamins and proteins that that kids should be having, as well as yourself, as well. Which reminds me, I haven't taken my vitamins today, which I need to do that as well. So. Analysis: this is why a heatwave could be more dangerous and feel worse than ever. School closures and no other outdoor drinking. How 40% heatwaves could change Britain. The mistakes people make when trying to keep their homes cool in the heatwave. So what are some of the mistakes that people are making, though? Dr. Ben Roberts on preventing overheating in homes without the use of air conditioning shares advice. While we're having more frequent, long, intense heat waves, our houses really haven't changed to reflect the long time. She says not really designed with this warmer climate in mind, but rather with returning heat in winter. This isn't totally a badly. And insulation also stops some of the heat from going through, and there are things we can work alongside. Several common mistakes people make when trying to keep their homes cool, and the best way to tackle them. So, keep your curtains closed. We already know that. Avoid opening windows in the daytime. When you see a sunny, really sunny day, everyone opens their windows. That's just the worst thing you can do. Government guidance is to open the windows on the shady side of the house. That is outdated now. This lets all the hot air in rather than storing a load of cooler air inside your home. What you need to do on a really hot day when it's warmer outside than it is inside is keep your windows closed. Yep. Which we all know. Prioritize external shading. External shading is common in many countries to warmer climates. In the UK, there are less of fixation on homes. I'd argue we need to start seeing more of it. At Lamproth University, we test external, internal shading devices. Internal shading, such as curtains or indoor blinds, is nowhere near as effective in external shades. They keep the house cooler by about 6 degrees. They work by stopping the heat from getting into the house in the first place, whereas with internal shades, the sun shines through the window and the sun's heat is then absorbed by the blinds or the curtains. The heat can go through a window, but as soon as it's absorbed by something, it loses a bit of energy and it can't go back again. Can't go back out again, and he explains. Use fans as a low-cost solution. Yeah, air conditioners are expensive, so use a fan. Like I've got one here. I also have a little miniature fan that I use when I go to wrestling shows as well to help keep me cool. If you've ever been deterred from using fans due to the fear of the cost, then it might be time to get them out of your cupboard. They cost significantly less than the run than any you may think. Yeah, do use a fan, guys. Do use a fan. If you haven't got one, get one. It is ideal there. Putting your feet in cold water or having cold showers may seem twee, but certainty has its benefits. These personal adaptations can really work as well. Part of my work based in Ghana and saw people getting big sheets, wet them and cover themselves. The evaporation cools them down. There you go. So cold feet. That's one of the things I mentioned witchy goth. Cold showers. I don't really have cold showers because I don't like cold showers per se. There. Don't solely rely on air conditioning. Yeah, don't solely rely on air conditioning. So most of these we kind of already knew anyway, but I thought it was just kind of worth dabbing into it a little bit there from the eye paper there. Some aircon for the gang to keep them cool, says Viper Scott. Thank you for the £2 super chat. Thank you very much. One less for the goal. Thank you again, Viper Scott. That's really kind. Fireworks video is nearly there. Again, thank you. That's really, really kind of you. Fireworks are a go. Viper Scott, thank you so much for those super chats. Very much appreciated. And that means we have hit today's super chat. Go! Thank you, Viper Scott, for the super chats today. Very much appreciate your support. Thank you for that. Really, really appreciate your support. But yes, guys, whenever we hit the super chat goal, we'll play that video because we hit the goal. Thank you again. Really, really appreciate that, guys. And Ellie has just reminded everyone as well that I don't know if it's out yet, but later on today, Alex from Political X will have a video on 10 years since rejoin. 10 years since Brexit, since we voted. I will be part of that. I will be featuring in that video along with many other YouTubers that you may recognise as well. I will post as soon as he has the video up. I'll post it on my channel for people as well. But yeah, do, if you're not subscribed to Alex Political X, do check out his work. He also has a lovely book I recommend people checking out called Manufactured Fear as well. Very, very interesting insight as well. What else is there here? I made one change to my training. Now I can squat double the weights. Oh, good for you. I'm not so much keen on doing that kind of style in this heat, but everybody's different, isn't it? I moved to France after Brexit. It has cost me thousands, but life here is worth it. Decade on from the referendum, West across the channel is not simple or cheap. We moved on. Why Brexit ended up boosting the EU? Because they didn't rely on us anymore. The property tax changes Burnham could make and what they mean for you. Burnham urged to reverse Brexit, becomes Prime Minister. He's not going to do that. Streeting taken up as Burnham's Chancellor. How Starmer went from seismic Labour landslide to patriarch in 23 months. Because he made mistakes. He made mistakes. That's one of the reasons. He made mistakes he shouldn't have made. Any other stories that we haven't seen here? Farage, Lau and Musk are snarling a trio who will destroy Britain. That is true. Nigel Farage is a threat to national security. Yep, he is. I think that's all we've got here at the moment for the iPaper. Got about 7 minutes left. Let's have a look and see what the Independent has for us here. Let me just quickly refresh it. Nigel Farage was out and about on the media, some of the media this morning, believe it or not, guys, of all days. Of all days. Please go away, advert. Please go away. Get rid of that. Go away, advert. Oh my god. That's so annoying. There's no way I can get rid of that advert. I think it's finally going to dissipate. So annoying. Bloody hell. Nigel Farage says he can spend £5 million gift on cars if I want to. Yeah, he's trying to justify it in some way, shape or form, which is ridiculous. Almost 2/3 say immigration has worsened since Brexit, according to a poll. What a surprise, guys. What a surprise. The survey conducted by Merlin Strategy for the Independent found 55% of people want a return to freedom of movement, while just 60% said they oppose it. Almost 2/3 of people believe that immigration has got worse since Brexit. A new poll conducted on the 10th anniversary of Britain's vote to leave the EU has shown. The promise to regain control of Britain's immigration service was central to the Brexit vote and has continued to dominate political discourse ever since. Yeah. Register free to continue reading. Oh, for God's sake. I thought I was already signed on, but never mind. What Brexit did to our economy, inflation and property 10 years on, made things worse. Most Gen Z Britons want to rejoin the EU, study shows. Only a small minority of 18 and 20-year-olds who were unable to vote in the referendum 10 years ago believe the UK should stay out of the blog. Half of Gen Z Britons believe Brexit has been a failure, and the majority would vote to rejoin the EU if given the opportunity, new polling has revealed. Data showing that only a small minority of 18 to 28-year-olds who were unable to vote in the referendum 10 years ago believe the UK should stay out of the blog. Polling of 440 young people across the country conducted by More in Common for The Guardian suggested that 3 in 5 of Gen Z Britons would vote to rejoin the EU if there was another vote. Meanwhile, only 9% would vote to stay out. Of those surveys said they would be likely to vote in another referendum, 81% said they would vote to rejoin, while 90% said they would vote to remain outside. The study also found that half of those surveyed considered Brexit a failure, while only 16% see it as a success. Hey, I saw that sign there on Saturday. Executive Director of More in Common, Luke Toll, said the study suggested young Britons believe politicians ruin Brexit. For many Gen Z Britons, the Brexit referendum was formulated to their political coming of age. In focus groups, many of these age groups said Brexit was the first political event they were virtually aware of. Too young to vote, but with distant memories of that campaign of years of debate that followed. 10 years on, our polling shows Britain, aged 18 to 28, reveals that they feel how they feel about Brexit. They tend to believe it has failed. 3 in 5 want a fresh referendum on rejoining. But interestingly, few people, the principle of Brexit was doomed from the start, like the rest of the politics. They tend to say it could have worked well, but politicians ruined it. And while Young Britons mostly supported rejoining in principle, focused conversation groups with Gen Z voters suggest they're hesitant about a return to the endless Brexit debates they suggested from their youth, which risks distracting from the issues they care most about: the cost of living, affordable housing, jobs, and climate change. And Keir Starmer's put a reset on that. Second EU summit was due to take place, has been postponed. Yeah, and that's basically what it says there so far with regards to Brexit. Any other Brexit stories here? Britain could undo Brexit and rejoin the EU by 2036, Nick Clegg has said. So apparently Nick Clegg says we can rejoin in 10 years' time. I'm not so sure about that. Would be nice, but I'm not so sure about that. But we should be making more strides to do it for sure. Any other stories here? NHS paramedic took photos of a dead patient to send them to friends. What on earth are you doing? Oh, what on earth are you doing, you stupid person? If anyone does ask, you took them yourself, just as I told one of the recipients. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What the hell's wrong with you? And NHS paramedics has avoided a professional ban after it emerged that he sent pictures of patients' decomposing bodies to colleagues via social media. Northwest Ambulance Service worker Joshua Sharp has instead received a caution for his appalling and deplorable actions. The paramedic has expressed deep regret for his conduct, describing it as an error of judgment. Error of judgment? No shit. Tribunal heard that in February 2022, Mr. Sharp attended an incident with his colleagues when he discovered a patient who had died and was in a state of decomposition. He proceeded to take photographs of the body, showing them to one of his colleagues, sending them to another on WhatsApp with the instructions, "Don't send it about, I'd rather not get sacked." I'm sorry, look. I know we're struggling with NHS workers, but I'm sorry, this paramedic should be struck off. Like, why are you taking pictures of this? Why are you doing that? Like, I just don't understand. Error of judgment. Like, what on earth were you thinking? I just don't understand what goes through people's minds with here. He later shared the images with different colleagues on Facebook Messenger. The following day, he was advised to delete the images and to tell those whom he had shared and delete them too. He subsequently deleted the images and told one colleague, "Please don't send on. I've been told I'm going to get sacked for this." He told another, "I've been told to delete the pictures. Going to get sacked if management and going to get kicked out of the course if uni finds out." He also added that if anyone asked, you took them yourself. Oh my god. Mr. Sharp was later interviewed during an investigation by the NWAS and admitted taking the photographs of the patient. He said he panicked when he realised they were being shared around. What do you expect what's going to happen when you shared it with family colleagues? Like, here's the pictures. Please don't share them around. Like, honestly. He was sacked in September 2022, but later managed to find a job in adult A&E in Royal Derby Hospital. So he did get sacked. Healthcare Professional Tribunal Service has now given him an official caution for his conduct, which will stay on his record for 3 years. Okay. So he got sacked and he got another job, basically, within the system. He said during the hearing, "With reflection, I now understand much more clearly the seriousness of my actions. Taking photographs of indecent patients with a breach of dignity, trust and professional boundaries." Yeah, no shit. Sharing those images were further serious, failing attempted to conceal my actions, then compounding the seriousness of the original misconduct. I recognise that the public must be able to trust paramedics with act with integrity, professionalism and respect for patients at all time, including after death. My actions fell far short of that. The chair of the panel concluded that Mr. Sharp's actions taking images of indecent patients were appalling. That alone merits a finding for misconduct. However, rather than deleting the images, Mr. Sharp's conduct had been made comparable worse by accelerating a series of bad decisions. He had shared the images with colleagues, knowing the consequences of doing so. He then sought to shelter himself from those consequences by including a colleague to pretend that he had taken the images despite knowing the consequences for them if they were acted on and believed. The panel concluded that such conduct would be regarded by fellow professionals as deplorable. It's not appropriate for Mr. Sharp or to retain photos or delete indecent patients, particularly on a personal device. There is no proper professional justification for doing so. Yeah, I just, what on earth? Like, I honestly just don't understand what on earth someone was thinking of doing something like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, honestly, like, I know we're in an age of self-feeds everywhere, guys, but it's like, do you not have any respect or dignity for friends and family of that victim? Like, Just none at all, you know. Why would you do that? It says Sid. Yeah, I know. Ellie says, number 1, why? And number 2, who for? Yeah. Ellie also says, I find it odd that there are so many criminals on TV dedicated to crime as serial killers. I guess it's for people that like this, love to look. Like, look, if you wanna look at that stuff, you know, do it online. Like, there's videos and there's all that kind of stuff. You can look hard enough. You have Google, but you should not be sharing stuff like that in your job. Like, you should not. Like, just don't go there. Just don't go there. Stupid person. Absolute stupid person. Right, guys, I'll have to leave it there because we have reached a police officer did similar. Yes, you're right, Ellie. I can't remember that story, but yeah, I'm pretty sure a police officer did something similar as well. Like, it's just ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. Right, guys, we'll have to leave it there because we've gone over 12 o'clock here. I want to say thank you to everyone who came along tonight. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the super chats. Very much appreciate your support there. Thank you for everyone for listening in. Very much appreciate it. I'll be back live again tomorrow at 11 o'clock for another Good Morning show, followed by Prime Minister's Questions. It'll be very interesting to see how Prime Minister's Questions go. That is for sure, because Keir Starmer is still going to be the Prime Minister and he will be still taking it up. So we'll be definitely covering that. We'll also have Reganelite's Watch Along tomorrow evening as well. We'll be watching and reacting to certain clips and videos online. So do join me for that as well. But before we go, I think, let me see if I can catch the video for you guys. I think we will go out with this video here from the Liberal Democrats that they have put out for us. Before I hit the exit button, let me just put this here. So it's 4 minutes and 24 minutes long, but I'm going to play it out and then I'll hit the outro. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming along. Very much appreciate it. We do need a new plan. We do need a new plan indeed. So here it is from the Liberal Democrats. They put out this video here. Britain needs a new plan.
£90 billion a year. That's how much it's costing us all as taxpayers. £90 billion. That's £250 million every single day. Gone. Taken away from our schools, our hospitals, our armed forces, and taken out of our pockets in higher taxes at the worst possible time with this cost of living crisis. No wonder people are fed up. They've had enough. Enough of the chaos in government, the queues at ports and airports, the bills that just keep on going up. The hard truth is their Brexit experiment has failed, and it's failed all of us. They promised us global Britain, but they've made us poorer, weaker, and more insecure. And now, the same people who caused all this say, tough. They say you can't question Britain's relationship with Europe now. You can't dare to suggest that there might be a better way. Doesn't matter how bad it gets, they drone on. Doesn't matter how much you're struggling. You just have to live with it. Well, we say no. Theirs is old thinking. 2016 thinking. Yet the world has changed dramatically since then. And it's time for us to change and move on. And our politics must change too.
Britain has always been at its best when we stand tall with our European allies, not when we shut ourselves off. We believe that our country and our people thrive when we are open and outward looking. Today, we are calling for a new growth and defence partnership with the European Union. A bold... I think I'll say it again. A new growth and defence partnership with the European Union. A bold new deal that will make Britain richer, safer and stronger, including a customs union, but also, crucially, taking Britain back into the single market. Tearing down the barriers to trade, ending the mountains of paperwork, the cost, the delays, the queues, giving our young people the chance to study and work, live and love anywhere in the EU. So our job is to get out there and show people that change is possible, that it doesn't have to be like this, that there is a way forward, a better future for our country, leading in Europe once again.
Fixing it is about us, our country, our future, our hopes and dreams. Britain needs a new plan. A plan for growth, for jobs, for defence. A plan to give our children the better future they deserve. A new deal with Europe. The only way to fix the cost of living crisis. The only way to get our country back on track. It's time to stand together. End the chaos. And say, enough